Chin up by tomorrow's a new year, little darling. Old Lane Sign and all the other cheers. In the moment feels just like you're here, little darling. Write your resolutions without fear, or leave them on the floor. Go and open a new door. Just keep blindly facing forward. Santa house.
Coincidentally, I arrived on the Remembrance Day here that is celebrated for those who have given all, who have sacrificed for their countries. So it's a huge event here in England. It's also observed in Canada. Everybody just had a moment of silence for like a good 5 minutes, and it's pretty interesting to come here coincidentally at the same time with that remembrance.
Some of you might be wondering, how did I end up here? I was just in Sweden. Now, where am I flying off to? Well, I owe a lot of y'all a huge explanation, and I promise you there's a story behind it, a very meaningful story. So you'll hear this story eventually when it's on the right time.
We got somebody's barkis, kokoshkas, or kokoshka all over my boots. They didn't even say sorry. They just left it in the middle of the walkway. Like, Merry Christmas.
Well, welcome to America, my friends and family. Stepping on dog poop. So it's a little confusing on the timeline of how I ended up here and what has happened. I left Sweden in November, got a chance to see my family in Texas for the holidays in December, and went to go and see my boy Nina, you remember him, El Platano, in Miami, and ended up getting stuck here in Washington, D.C. due to some bad
That massive storm dropping a foot of snow on the D.C. region, overwhelming road crews and trapping thousands of people, the elderly, kids, and pets in their cars. It started last night, a sea of static red taillights in freezing temps. By morning through most of the day, they barely budged. Stuck for more than 26 hours, Senator Tim Kaine.
There's families with kids, there's families that have seniors in the car, people with medical issues. People are running out of gas.
Another 1,400 flight cancellations today after 3,000 yesterday.
By the way, here's the couple that didn't clean up the dog poop.
3 days later.
Hello there, friends and family, and welcome to 2022 now. This is going to be my first video in 2022, and I don't know how long it's going to last, but we are in the heart of Washington, D.C. As you can see, they know what they're doing. And we start off 22 with a winter storm that took out all of 95 interstate highway. Took it out, and there's people who are stuck there for at least, it's already been like 18 hours stuck on the highway. So I delayed my plane. As you knew, I was in Miami with the boy El Pratano. Now I'm in DC. I'm stuck here. I absolutely don't know what the hell I'm gonna do, but I guess we'll take the good old adventure, or I'm gonna have to end up in a tent like they know what they're doing. But I guess we could go stop by the Capitol building and do some sightseeing, I guess. I absolutely don't know. We'll make the best out of this.
Wait.
So you probably noticed something new about me. I got this sexy stash now. Yeah. And so normally you always hear me say, hey, where am I going to start my adventure off? Especially a spontaneous adventure. And you know what? It's a pretty easy answer. Let me just go to the bar. But I don't really want to start the whole controversy on my channel. But hey, I believe whatever you want to believe is right for you. But it's not going to be that easy for me because of my decision I made. But we're going to have a problem here in DC because this place, from what I've been told, you need to be vaccinated with your vaccine passport. And I'm a world traveler and I'm a world citizen. So that's gonna be a little problem with me. So hopefully I find a bar that's just gonna be like, have some common sense and have no problem with it and let me in. So just pray to God, thank you Jesus, hopefully I'm able to get in and get a bite to eat or something, because this is totally unexpected trip to be here in DC. I need all the help I need. I still don't even know where I'm sleeping at. I don't want to spend $200 out for one night. And this place is closed. Yeah, this is what the reason why they're closed.
What's that sound? An ambulance. I wonder who that ambulance is for.
So if you weren't aware, Washington D.C. is not a country, my bad. Freudian slip. But it's a district. District of Columbia. It's a district area. It has a lot of the federal buildings, agencies, USAID places. Most of the people here are all federal. And so that's what DC is. It's a pretty important place. There's Capitol Hill here, which I don't think, I'm gonna try to find some good old footage because I can't shoot here with my drone, some good old aerial footage of the Capitol, but let me see if I can get you some. But it's pretty busy place for diplomats and politicians. It's not my cup of tea. I want to stay away from. But there's a lot of pretty cool buildings around here and some really great little food districts and bars. And maybe, hopefully I have some luck, I'll show you one. Friends and fans, so I told you, I'm just gonna go with the flow. We're just gonna see how things go. And ended up in Chinatown. It was not my plan. So I guess that's where the wind blows. I gotta be here in Chinatown for some reason. Maybe I can find some hambao or char siu bao. The Smithsonian Institute, also known as the National Portraits Gallery. Interesting. Let me tell you a little bit of this history right here, right? Here is the Smithsonian American Art Museum. I'll paint you a beautiful little story, okay? This is one of the little heritage trails right here. At 10:30 p.m. on March 4th, 1865, President Lincoln arrived at this site with his wife Mary in a white lace and silk with purple and white flowers in her hair. This place wasn't a museum back then. It used to be known as the post office. It was a well-known location for a ball, I'm assuming. Alright. The ball is celebrating his second inaugural for being held here, for him being president. At the very top of this floor was a patent office, and it's right next to us. This place, Smith's.
German Bundesliga.
Smithsonian. Why can't I say that word? Smithsonian.
Alman River. Bay Leverkusen.
Yeah, not too far from here. I don't know where it is, but apparently not too far from here. That's where Abraham Lincoln got assassinated. So, this is one of the last known locations that he was at, right here. Can you imagine? Boom! Be one of the best presidents that helped free the slaves, give black people freedom. He gets shot in the head. So this is Ford's Theater right here. And maybe see if I can get some better footage in the daytime tomorrow. You just hear me talk about it, but we're kind of like here. Interesting. I'll show you. Now, let me give you a hint. Hanssen. Yeah, this is the infamous FBI building. And it looks ugly as hell. and a lot of the architecture buildings here look very ugly. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. So here you go. That's the FBI building. That's where a bunch of people non-stop protect Americans from domestic terrorism and stuff. Pretty interesting. It's a pretty huge building. It's wild. Anyways, I'm getting a hotel that's not too far from here. So got something going on for me. I'm doing a pretty lousy job. I'm pretty tired, man. All right. Now, like I said, this Washington D.C. It's one of my favorite places I like to party back then before COVID. And now things have changed, and you really gotta, it's a hit and miss trying to find places that's not like super like all about mask and passport vaccine things, and you know, people who are not super crazy about that sort of lifestyle. It's gonna be a very boring intro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe I could turn it around.
24 hours later.
All right, so here we have Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln's home. Right here. Located in Washington, D.C. This is the place where Abraham Lincoln had died. Right here. And right across from us is, I'll show you this. That's Ford's Theater. Wow! Everybody say, ooh. Ah. So, Lincoln's home. National treasure right here. we have just down the block, not too far from here, you have the Federal Bureau of Investigations, which is the intelligence agency that takes care of anything domestic or has to do with domestic relations and crime. Even the ones of Americans who commit crimes overseas, they're the ones that take care of the justice for them. So this is that one. It's a very ugly looking building, I ain't gonna lie. That's a very ugly looking building. Wow. Now, for the most of y'all, you understand that I have been away from the United States since 4th of July 2019. It's the last time I was here. Now, give you a little bit of perspective of my traveling experience. I've always traveled since I was a child. My mom, my little sister, and myself would always travel all over throughout the United States. But I don't think I really traveled outside of the United States unless it was one time I did. It was in Jamaica to go see my relatives on my dad's side of the family. It's the only time I've ever really actually been outside the United States at a young age. But I've traveled all over the West Coast, some of the from the East Coast to the Gulf, and never really traveled that much. So I joined the military. I was able to have a little bit of an income on my own, and then that's when I've been able to really get out there and travel. And anything I've learned throughout my travels is just being a very appreciative of being American. There's a lot of countries that don't get to have what Americans have, that Americans start learning to take for granted. So bring this up because I am not that far away from the White House, and I'll show you here in a little bit. So on this side right here we have the Treasury building, Treasury Department. It's where all the money the United States circulates through.
Today here in Washington D.C. is the anniversary of the January 6th United States Insurrection.
Hello there, what's up friends and family? So now we are here at the White House. And for all of you who don't know, the White House here is the residence of presidents, the standing president. And you know, I was explaining to a lot of y'all, this is my first time back in the United States after 3 years. It's been 3 years. Last time I was here was 4th of July 2019. So I've been all around the world. I made the videos in Sri Lanka, Kazakhstan, a little bit of Sweden. I'm getting to Sweden, just a little bit. Way before I started doing this whole YouTubing stuff, I was in like Eastern Europe and all that, but never got into filmmaking. So I wanted to express how happy I am to be back in America. And besides the whole political stuff that's going on, I am very happy and appreciative of being American and having those opportunities of traveling because of what I was doing for work. God gave me like a really great insight on what's going on around the world, especially Kazakhstan. Like I know what's going on a lot there. I spent a lot of my time there, got to see a lot of things there in Kazakhstan, but it's just the fact that being American is like people forget how it's like to be like grateful for what we have. So I'm very appreciative, and so really appreciate everybody that has joined me on this journey. Very spontaneous trip here in Washington D.C. because of the whole weather. But I'll try to get you more video footage of D.C. I just wanted to show you the White House.
Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time.